What's going on, everybody? I hope everyone's having a fantastic evening, afternoon, pre-noon, no matter where you are in the world. I'm Hassan Piker. This is HasanDaily broadcast coming to you live from sunny California, Los Angeles, folks. We're live and alive, and it's the suit guy. That's right. We're live, we're alive, and I hope everyone's having a fantastic one because today's a beautiful day. Today's a wonderful day. Today is Saturday. A lot of people were like, oh, you're not going to be stern enough with NITHYA or calling into question her record. I'm not going to rewatch the videos because it's just, it felt terrible. I hate that. Like, I'll have a tough but fair conversation with like Gavin Newsom, but when it's someone who's like, DSA aligned is a little different. But of course, there's also people like this. Oh yeah, frame it as liberal backlash. So it appears that you endorse an unrepentant Zionist. Great stuff. I fucking hate this, man. I hate politics so much. I think we're all mentally ill. Like, this is why no one wants to interact with the realm of politics, because the only way that most people can interact with the realm of politics is is via the internet. And I think everyone online that does politics is, like, to varying degrees of going through psychosis, myself included. I guess there's a way to harness that mental illness for some level of good, like a crumb of good. But I think a lot of people don't do that. They harness it for their own pet projects. Like, unfortunately for a lot of people's pet projects, I am the figure of enmity for them. I'm like the maximum worst guy that you can be. There are people who make Israel their top priority and therefore, will try to angle all their criticisms of me off of like whatever else. But then you just like do a little bit. You scratch the surface of their anxiety a little bit, and you very quickly realize, oh, there's a fucking Zionist there. And then there's the other side of the story where people are just like, you're not sufficiently pro-Palestine. You actually cape for Zionists. You love Zionism. You're like a massive fan of Zionism. I always find myself in the center of these sorts of ideological battles for some reason, but maybe it's just my perspective from where I'm standing, I guess. I don't think I will ever be able to achieve a result that the ultras to my left and the shit lips to my right will ever fucking openly say is good. And I've given up on that. Everyone has been able to figure out a way to be like, I despise you. But yeah, I interviewed one of the top 3 mayoral candidates, NITHYA Raman, yesterday. And going into it, like, I obviously designed it in a way where I wanted to talk about, some of the positive things that she has done, some of the areas where I definitely agree with her in comparison to obviously who her opposition is. But then also there was some questions, right? There were obviously going to be a ton of questions, given that, she's been in a position of power in Los Angeles local politics for quite a while. And I wanted to ask some good questions. But liberals were very frustrated. Hasan really brought on a candidate for mayor and thought the best use of her time would be hardcore interrogate her on fucking Israel-Palestine as if she's in any position to affect policy. Lamau, the unhealthy obsession is unreal. If you're like the average person encountering this statement, you might be like, wait a minute, that is weird. Why the fuck is he just like so honed in on Israel? Except the reason, if you actually watch the fucking interview, and this is Stu Smith, who's a dipshit who watches every single stream from Manhattan Institute, the right-wing think tank responsible for the anti-CRT initiatives, the anti-DEI initiatives, the right-wing think tank that's responsible for all of the culture war initiatives that the Republican Party leans into, just so you know. They are the ones who do that. You can't make this up. NITHYA skipped council yesterday, which included a celebration of Jewish American Heritage Month, in order to kiss the ring of virulent anti-Semite Hasan Piker, who is advising her. NITHYA Raman, who is running for LA mayor, is notably not here to celebrate Jewish American Heritage Month. Sources tell me she's currently filming. Yeah, this is one of the problems with someone like NITHYA, where she has to stand on an issue and just like plant her flag. And the issue here is she's like a little bit wishy-washy. She's not like confident in her perspective. And I wish she was. I wish she was more confident. It was very frustrating because like from my position, like the reason why I asked, and I made it very clear, right? Like the reason why I asked her about this issue, which Stu Smith calls a struggle session. These guys are so not fucking used to any kind of friction in interviews that they called somewhat adversarial questioning a struggle session. In my opinion, was tough but fair. I gave a full assessment of her track record. There are plenty of great moments in her track record. I talked about some of her enemies and what they've tried to do on the areas where we aligned, obviously, and there's some, right? There's plenty, actually, like urban planning, things of that nature. I'm not like super anti YIMBYism regardless, right? With the exception of like, I don't know, offering tax credits for real estate developers. But like she's done a lot of great work on dealing with homelessness in her district, right? Like I wanted that to be definitely a big part of the conversation, which it was, right? It was a 80-minute interview or something. And we talked a lot about local issues. And even when I was asking her stuff about Israel, obviously I kept it local. We talked about a ton of local issues, and she's much stronger than Bass and Pratt law on homelessness, housing, urban planning, etc. Israel's politics, unfortunately, are intertwined with Los Angeles. I asked her about her local choices / endorsements and if she's changed her mind on the issue and why. Why are you so intellectually incurious? And then I found out exactly why this person is intellectually incurious. Genocides that are not real. Gaza, white, the unborn. Like, imagine comparing the fake ass, like, white genocide to Gaza, dude. You're fucking disgusting. You're a disgusting monster, dude. Fuck you. Of course, this is the guy who runs the political extremist L's account. Like, what's the difference between you and a fucking neo-Nazi at this point? Yeah, online left content creators or ex-content creators tier list. Just ultra lib. Ultra lib. His only worldview revolves around his favorite fucking content creators. Just a disgusting little creature. It's so funny how the entire pro-Israel libs online are all in the pest orbit. Yes, because they're desperate for a warrior. So of course their biggest warrior is going to be the fucking debate bro that is a debate mercenary in general. Raman is running for mayor of Los Angeles. Why does anyone care what she thinks about this? Dude, just fucking watch the video, man. I know it's easy to disparage what we do here because it's a fucking Twitch stream. But aren't you like even remotely intellectually curious, like the framing, the question that I asked, like why I asked certain questions? I was very clear on why I was asking these questions. I mean, these are like real fucking reporters, right? Like Josh Barro used to work for mainstream outlets. You know what I mean? It's unbelievable. I'm not even expecting you to watch 80 minutes of it, but like maybe look at the highlights, look at the summary that this fucking dickhead from this right-wing think tank, Stu Smith, put together. Because he put the whole compilation together. Do you believe that Israel's an apartheid state? I think that is, yeah. Then Hassan brought up her 2024 censure from DSA LA over accepting the Democrats for Israel LA endorsement. Like, that is her own local organization. How is this not going to come up? Like, of course that's valid. It's a valid fucking question to ask. These guys don't even like Nithya Raman, by the way. I don't understand why we're having this question. Like why this is like shocking to go through, or there is like or this is like totally out of line. If local politicians didn't have any power over Israel wouldn't be, or Israeli groups, like pro-Israeli groups, would not be fucking endorsing them. Obviously, local politicians have a lot of fucking power over what happens in Los Angeles, and that's precisely the reason why I brought her perspective up, her past actions up. It wasn't like I randomly was like, what do you think about what's going on in Israel? Let's talk about Israel. Would you fucking go to, I don't know, would you go to the International Criminal Court or something? No, I was saying like, here are some of the things that you've done in the past. Has your position changed? And if your position has changed, why? I'm not asking her if she would go to the fucking West Bank or something. I think it is absolutely valid to ask local politicians like why they've adopted the International Holocaust Remembrance Association framing of anti-Semitism. Like, that's a valid question to ask. It's a valid question to ask if a mayor will try to work against ICE, for example. And if you're willing to work against ICE by putting like mask bans in place and then trying to utilize the local law enforcement against ICE in that regard, then the question remains the same for settler fairs that take place inside of synagogues. I even gave her an example of what Karen Bass had said in the past about a settler affair that took place in Los Angeles, inside of a Los Angeles synagogue. They're selling stolen West Bank land that is illegally robbed of the Palestinian people and illegally sold on U.S. soil inside of places of worship. You don't think that's a fucking valid concern for Los Angelinos? Of course it is. And not only is this a valid concern for Los Angelinos, but it's also a thing that people do care about. It's certainly a thing that my audience cares about, but it's a thing that many Americans care about, as a matter of fact. Not directly just like settler affairs in particular, but like if their politicians are responsive to the needs of the base. And I could tell, though, like that she was very good on issues that she cared about, that she was very considerate and very invested in the conversation when we're talking about buses, right? Like she's into that stuff. But yes, when it came down to the inconsistencies in her past, in her track record, there was certainly some areas where she had a hard time. She had a hard time answering certain questions. If she weren't a DSA member, you'd be saying she's Rizless. I mean, she's not. She's not. She doesn't have a lot of charisma. Yes, I am saying that. I'm saying that in the nicest way possible. My expectation is not that like every politician is supposed to be unbelievably charismatic, mind you. I'm not saying that either. But I wish they could just like do a little bit more reading and lean in and have some conviction on these major issues. Yeah, and then these guys do this shit. Look, let me say, Hasan had LA Mayor candidate on and asked a bunch of Israel Palestine questions. She responds that Mayor of LA doesn't really affect the issue. And his chat had to go to emote only mode because of the hatred and vitriol. Like, this guy is Israel first, okay? Ben Shapiro's biceps is an Israel first SEXPESTINY orbiter, just a fucking repulsive figure, just an unbelievably repulsive figure whose movement has died so fucking hard that there's not even like the fandoms that he represents is gone. Okay, it has perished. There's no real world example for this kind of politics, like an Israel first liberal Democrat who also is you know, I guess joking about Ben Shapiro's biceps. Epstein's subreddit is in a frenzy over the interview. Okay, I hope they fucking go out and vote against Spencer Pratt and Karen Bass then. It's just funny because like this kind of narrative has a lot of prominence on Twitter, but it has no real world equivalent. It has no placement in the real world whatsoever. If you were to walk around in the real world and ask regular people like, hey, is it appropriate to ask a LA candidate about her past decisions about like, you know, adopting the International Holocaust Remembrance, like adopting anti-Palestinian measures as a council member? Literally, people will be like, yeah, no, that's perfectly valid. If you were like, well, why do you care about Israel so much? They beat you to death with hammers. If you were to fucking entertain this argument in the real world. The defense of this is really fucking stupid because like this conversation is directly about her record on Israel.
Corporate interests. This is the reason why it's like a very effective litmus test and a moral test is for the obvious reasons.
Like here I am describing why I'm asking this question about Israel, but of course no one watches the fucking clips. They just talk over it with their own biases. At this point, there is no real discourse. It's all just people with their own personal biases that they've established, not by like developing a better understanding of who anyone is or what they represent, or what their goals are, but like whatever fucking drama slop they've consumed. Okay. And they've also decided that they're on one team over the other. And there's like different brackets. There's like the pro-Palestine team that's like saying I'm a fucking Zionist. There's the broader pro-Palestinian movement that obviously is not stupid and doesn't think that about me. And then there's the pro-Israel team. There are the liberal Zionists who are ashamed to admit their affiliations with Israel nowadays, who will just be like, why is he even asking about Israel? I got you. It's like, it's pretty obvious why I'm asking about Israel. You should watch the fucking video and you'll arrive at that. Maybe you can address the questions that I asked. Maybe you can say I'm unfair. And then there's the ultra Zionists out there who are just like, Hasan is a dangerous terrorist who is basically modern day ISIS. Why are you even going on a stream?